Welcome. In today's lecture, I will explain basics of light propagation. Light can be considered as ray, and hence ray theory can be applied to study propagation of light. To understand the propagation of light within fiber, it is necessary to consider refractive index of the dielectric medium. The refractive index of a medium is defined as the ratio of velocity of light in vacuum to the velocity of light in medium. Refractive index is denoted by small n given by c by v, where c is the velocity of light in vacuum and v is the velocity of light in medium. A light ray travels more slowly in an optically dense medium than less denser medium, and this refractive index gives measure of this effect. If the refractive index is high, the medium will be more dense. Now, when a light ray is incident on the interface between two dielectrics having different refractive indices, the ray can either be reflected or refracted. The law of reflection states that when a light ray is incident upon a reflective surface at angle phi1 with respect to the normal to the boundary, the ray will be reflected from the surface at angle phi2 with respect to the normal to the boundary, such that the angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. Refraction occurs when light ray passes from one medium to the other. Let us look at the refraction in more detail. Consider the refraction of light from one medium to the other medium. The two media have refractive indices n1 and n2, such that n1 is higher than n2. So, medium 1 is denser than medium 2. Now, light ray travels from medium 1 and incident on the boundary at angle phi1 with respect to the normal. This ray is refracted in the second medium at angle phi2 with respect to the normal to the boundary. The relation between these angles is given by Snell's law. Here, phi2 is greater than phi1 since n1 is greater than n2. Snell's law gives how a light ray reacts when it strikes the interface of two media having different refractive indices. It is given by n1 sin phi1 is equal to n2 sin phi2. This equation can also be written as sin phi1 by sin phi2 is equal to n2 by n1. Now let us see how this refraction can be used to propagate the light inside optical fiber. There are two cases a light can travel from low refractive index medium to high refractive index medium, or it can travel from high refractive index medium to low refractive index medium. Now, when light travels from low refractive index medium to high refractive index medium, the angle of refraction is less than angle of incidence. And when light travels from high refractive index medium to low refractive index medium, angle of refraction is higher than angle of incidence. Remember, the angles are always measured with respect to the normal to the boundary. With this knowledge, let's look at how light can be made to propagate through the fiber core. Fiber core is made with high refractive index than the refractive index of cladding. Now, when light is incident on the fiber core and travels towards the boundary between core and cladding, light ray will be refracted. Since ray is traveling from high refractive index to low refractive index, angle of refraction is more than angle of incidence. Now consider the angle of incidence is increased slowly. Then the angle of refraction will also be increased, as you can see in the given figure. Now at one particular incidence angle, the refracted ray travels along the boundary between core and cladding. This angle of incidence is called critical angle of incidence, denoted by phi c. Now, further, if angle of incidence is increased, the ray will not be refracted, but it will be reflected back into the core with angle of reflection same as angle of incidence. This causes the light ray to propagate through the fiber core. Let us define these two terms now. Critical angle of incidence is defined as the minimum angle of incidence at which the ray strikes the interface of the two media and causes angle of refraction equal to 90 degree. Second term is total internal reflection. That is, when incident angle is made greater than the critical angle, the entire ray is reflected back into the same medium. This total internal reflection is the basic principle of light propagation through the fiber core. Now, if we apply the Snell's law to the critical angle case, phi 1 will be phi c and phi 2 is 90 degree. So, we get the value of sin phi c upon sin 90 is equal to n2 by n1. So, from this we will get the equation for sin phi c as n2 by n1. From this we can find what is critical angle phi c. It is given by sin inverse of n2 by n1. One more parameter is need to be considered here, that is the acceptance angle theta A. Consider ray A strikes the core at angle theta measured with respect to fiber core axis. Now this ray will be refracted inside core. Let this ray strikes the core cladding boundary at an angle phi such that the phi is less than critical angle phi c. In that case, the ray will not be reflected, but it will be refracted inside cladding. So, this ray will not propagate through the fiber. Consider second case, ray B as indicated. Ray B, there are two rays with same angle, that is alpha. Consider now ray B strikes the air core boundary at angle alpha. these rays will be refracted inside core such that they strike the core cladding boundary at angle phi c. When they strike at the critical angle, the refracted ray will travel along the boundary between core and cladding. So this case is considered as a limiting case for total internal reflection. If any ray is incident at an angle greater than this alpha, will not be propagated through the fiber, but it will travel inside cladding and it will be lost. So here we define this alpha as a maximum angle and it is called as a acceptance angle theta A. So we define this angle as the maximum angle in which external light ray may strike the air glass interface and propagate down the fiber. That is, it will undergo total internal reflection. Now consider the third case. Ray C, denoted by red color, strikes the air core boundary at angle theta 1. This ray is also refracted inside core. This refracted ray strikes the core cladding boundary at an angle phi 1 such that phi 1 is greater than the critical angle phi c. Hence, the ray will be reflected inside core, causing total internal reflection. So this ray can propagate through the fiber core. So here it is clear that for total internal reflection, ray must strike the core at an angle less than the acceptance angle. So any external ray which incidents on the air core boundary making an angle less than the acceptance angle undergoes total internal reflection. Now it is possible to obtain the relationship between the acceptance angle theta A and the refractive indices of the three media, that is air, core and cladding. So this leads to the definition of more generally used term, the numerical aperture of the fiber. Now as shown in the figure, the ray strikes the air core boundary at angle theta 1 to the fiber axis and it is refracted inside core with an angle of theta 2 with respect to the fiber axis. Now since the ray strikes at angle theta 1 which is less than the acceptance angle theta A, it will undergo the total internal reflection. Consider the ray strikes the core cladding boundary at angle phi with respect to the normal to the boundary. So refractive index of air is N0, refractive index of core N1 and refractive index of cladding is N2. Then by applying Snell's law to air and core, we can write N0 sin theta 1 is equal to N1 sin theta 2. But theta 2 can be written by considering the right angle triangle ABC, that is theta 2 is 90 minus phi or pi by 2 minus phi. So if I replace this theta 2, the equation becomes sin pi by 2 minus phi, and sin pi by 2 minus phi can be written as cos phi. So we'll get the second equation, n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 cos phi. Now using the trigonometrical relation sin square phi plus cos square phi is equal to 1, we can write this equation as n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 1 minus sin square phi raised to 1 by 2, because cos phi can be written as under root 1 minus sin square phi. When the limiting case for the total internal reflection is considered, phi becomes equal to the critical angle phi c, and the angle theta 1 will be equal to theta a. When this angle is theta a, that is acceptance angle, this angle will be equal to critical angle or limiting case for the total internal reflection. So this angle will be equal to phi c. So by putting these values in the equation, we can write n0 sin of theta a is equal to n1 1 minus sin square phi c. But we know that sin phi c can be written as n2 by n1, hence sin square phi c will be n2 square by n1 square. So after simplifying, we'll get the equation n0 sin theta a is equal to n1 square minus n2 square raised to 1 by 2. So this n0 sin theta a is called as a numerical aperture of the fiber. So we can define what is NA. n0 sin theta a, which can also be written as under root n1 square minus n2 square. If n0 is equal to 1, the numerical aperture can be written as sin of theta a, which is n1 square minus n2 square raised to 1 by 2. So from this equation, if I put maximum value of theta a, that is equal to pi by 2, sin pi by 2 will be equal to 1. So we can say the maximum value for numerical aperture is equal to 1, and minimum value for the numerical aperture will be equal to 0. So basically, numerical aperture gives the measure of light gathering capacity of a fiber. If the numerical aperture is maximum, we can say maximum light is coupled into the fiber. This numerical aperture can be given in terms of relative refractive index difference delta between core and cladding, which is given as delta is equal to n1 square minus n2 square upon 2n1 square. If delta is very small, then it can also be written as n1 minus n2 upon n1. So if we put this value in the previous equation, we can write numerical aperture is equal to n1 2 delta raised to 1 by. So this is about the today's lecture. Remember the three basic concepts: critical angle, acceptance angle, and numerical aperture. Thank you.